In this Monster Hunter Wilds video, we're going to be taking a look at the bow weapon. This video is sort of a guide on how to use the bow. It's going to go through the basics of it. So if you're a new player wondering how to use the bow, we're going to cover that. We're also going to cover some of the changes to the bow that are in Monster Hunter Wilds. So if you're a returning bow user and you want to know what's different about the bow compared to maybe previous installments, there's some helpful information about that in this video as well. The bow is one of only 3 ranged weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds, and it is the only ranged weapon that uses stamina instead of ammunition. The bow is capable of unleashing an ending rain of arrows on the target, and although the bow is easy to start using for newcomers, mastery of the bow requires detailed knowledge of the best combination of combos, coatings, and the monster you are facing. To start, we'll take a look at some of the basic combos for bows. While the bow is the only ranged weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds to feature combos, they don't work the same way as melee weapons in that you have a single starter attack with a variety of finishers. The first of these is the Dragon Piercer, which sends a powerful shot that pierces through the length of the monster's body. You perform this combo by holding right trigger and releasing, and then pressing B, B, and then Y plus B on Xbox, or holding R2 and then releasing and pressing circle, circle, and triangle plus circle on PlayStation. The second one is called the 1,000 Dragons. Instead of a single arrow like the Piercer, this attack shoots multiple arrows in a wide area. You perform this combo by holding right trigger and releasing, and then pressing B, B, and then right trigger plus Y plus B simultaneously. Or if you're playing on PlayStation, pressing and holding R2 and then releasing, and then pressing circle, circle, and then R2 plus triangle and circle. The next combo is used with the new addition, the Tracer Shot, which we will go into detail in a little bit. Perform this combo, you press and hold the right trigger and then press X, you release it and then press B, B, and then Y during a charging sidestep. On PlayStation, this is pressing and holding R2 and pressing square and then releasing, and then pressing circle, circle, and then triangle during a charging sidestep. And the last is the Arc Shot. The Arc Shot is an attack that can substantially increase your damage output. It rains countless arrows down from the sky, with some becoming fuse arrows that linger on the monster. It can be charged up to 3 levels, with each level increasing the number of arrows that rain down. This combo is performed by pressing left and right trigger plus B, and then pressing Y during a charging sidestep, and then pressing Y plus B. Or on PlayStation by pressing R2 and L2 plus circle, and then pressing triangle during a charging sidestep, and then triangle plus circle. Moving on to some of the updates, the bow has received some of the biggest changes and updates to its mechanics in Monster Hunter Wilds out of any weapon, giving an already strong weapon more playstyles and options than ever before. Bow coatings received a massive change in Monster Hunter Wilds, and you don't have to craft them anymore, but are applied using the Trick Arrow gauge. There are a total of 8 different coatings in Monster Hunter Wilds, with different bows being compatible with different combinations of coatings. These include Close Range Coating, Power Coating, Pierce Coating for damage, and the Paralysis, Poison, Sleep, Blast, and Exhaust coatings for applying their respective status effects. The Hope Bow can use Power Coating and Poison Coating. You can take a look at which bow is compatible with which coatings in the equipment menu. Another big addition to the bow is the Tracer Shot and tracking arrows. As mentioned before, you can fire a tracer arrow as you charge your shot with the click of a button. Applying the tracer arrow will now consume about half of your trick shot gauge per arrow used. If you hit your target with the tracer arrow, it will attach itself to the monster, and all of your subsequent shots, no matter what type of shot you're using, will home in on the tracer. This means you can utilize quick shots, power shots, and 1,000 dragons, and all of the arrows will still hit their mark. The tracer increases your effective range and also increases your damage per arrow. The tracer will stay in the targeted place for a set amount of time, or until you've hit the monster for enough damage. You can reapply tracer arrows before they expire to prevent downtime. The bow also has received a perfect dodge mechanic called Discerning Dodge. To do this, you need to time your dodge to the moment the monster hits you, and successfully pulling it off will provide you with iframes as well as a massive amount of stamina and trick shot arrow gauge. Another type of shot has been added in Monster Hunter Wilds, and that is the Flying Swallow Shot. You can perform this by pressing left trigger plus Y on Xbox during a charging sidestep, or pressing L2 plus triangle during a charging sidestep on PlayStation. This shot adds even more mobility for the bow user, as you can use it to hop cancel out of a sidestep while charging in the direction of your choice while shooting out multiple arrows. Having a tracer arrow on the monster will help sustain your damage while you hop out of harm's way with this move, since they will home in on the target and you don't have to be aiming perfectly. The Arc Shot, which is performed by pressing a right trigger plus B on Xbox or R2 plus circle on PlayStation, also received some reworks and will no longer deal stun damage to the monster or provide buffs. As mentioned before, you can now charge your Arc Shot to increase the number of arrows it will shoot. It will also leave lingering arrows on the monster, which can be blown up using a variety of ways, such as the 1,000 Dragon Arrows, the Dragon Piercer, and the Focus Shot. The Dragon Piercer returns in Monster Hunter Wilds with an option to do a faster variant after your normal 3 shots with the Instant Dragon Piercer, which takes about half the time to ready up and deals half the damage of a normal Dragon Piercer. The Instant Dragon Piercer is also the quickest way to detonate the lingering bombs left behind from Arc Shot. 1,000 Dragon Shot does not require slinger ammo to power it up anymore and will shoot a volley of spread arrows. This move has the potential to deal massive amounts of damage, especially paired with lingering bombs and tracer arrows. The Focus Strike is called Hailstorm, and you can use this while in focus mode or when aiming by pressing RB on Xbox or R1 on PlayStation, and it's different from other weapons in that in addition to the function of destroying wounds on monsters, you can use the Focus Strike to detonate a tracer arrow and all the lingering arrows from Arc Shot to deal a massive amount of damage. Triggering this attack will display a circle on the screen, and you will lock onto the tracer and the lingering arrows in the wounds if the monster has any. You'll be able to charge up the lock-on up to 3 times for increased damage, and you can follow up with the Dragon Piercer to deal the maximum damage during your hunt. Another change in Monster Hunter Wilds is that quick shots and power shots will no longer retain your charge level. You'll have to rely more on rapid shots and discerning dodges to quickly level up your charge. Final tips. Bows have the unique property of having multiple special attacks and different types of coatings, so understanding these will help you utilize this weapon more effectively. With the added mechanic of the trick arrow gauge, you'll need to keep your eye on resource management for the bow now as well. You cannot spam coatings or tracer arrows, as this will quickly run through your gauge and lessen your effectiveness. Knowledge of which coating to use, managing the rotation of the coatings, and applying tracer arrows will help you in maximizing your damage output. Also, the bow is a very good mid-range weapon, and bows have optimal range when firing. Even though this effective range is increased by the tracer, learning to effectively stay within this range with the added mobility and perfect dodges is another key element of mastering the bow. For secondary weapons for a bow main, the light bowgun is a good choice to complement the bow with its higher ability to apply status effects while staying at range. If you're looking to complement your damage further, the heavy bowgun will help you with its longer range and access to some powerful options like the sticky ammo and the slicer ammo for damaging parts. If you're looking to generally complement the bow, the hunting horn can offer some buffs and give you access to some blunt damage in a pinch, but you'll have to slow down and find an opening to effectively use this, especially during solo hunts. That wraps up our Monster Hunter Wilds bow guide. I hope you found this useful, whether you're a new player to the bow or a returning player that wants to find out what's different. As always, if you have further tips for the bow that maybe I didn't mention here or forgot to mention, you can leave them in the comments to help out other players. Or if you just have questions about the bow and you'd like them answered, you can leave them in the comments as well, and I will try and answer them as soon as I can.